The bozos over at NASA have been in their press release era, and we got Christina Koch out here giving so much thirst for the LGBTQ community. They're outraged that Christina Koch is allegedly straight female. CK initials are very suspicious. Whenever you see CK initials, Calvin Klein is what I normally think of, the shirts with just the CK on it, because that's 33. The C is a 3 and K is 11. What else? People fake. This is fake. It's so obviously fake. I haven't even watched this video all the way through because I watched the video for about 2 seconds before bursting out into laughter for how stupid this is. NASA is stupid and campy. They know that the public will buy whatever bullshit. And that's why they still let us watch things like the Apollo 11 news conference, even though it's so obvious. Anybody who just watches that will know how they're liars. Okay, and they leave it out there because they know most people just believe whatever. Oh my goodness, I haven't shown it in a while, but there's some bad stuff out of NASA. But this is now on my short list of bad things out of NASA. Is this Christina Koch lady? The video speaks for itself. So I'll just do a little rambling first, like a minute. Here we go. These people they're actors. They're all actors. All the world's a stage, right? All these people up there are actors. And this is very similar to things like Stevie Wonder, okay? In my opinion, and in the opinion of many, many others out there, people like Stevie Wonder, it's part of their fake persona. Think of the idols on the world stage. It's a character. That's not a real person. You're seeing a character. So these people are acting a character who's blind. They are not blind. I'm not saying that's the case for all of them, but ones like Stevie Wonder, that is just built into the character. We can sell more records if you're this amazing blind player, okay? Very low level. You got ones like Michael J. Fox. I 100% believe Michael J. Fox completely fakes Parkinson's. He's an actor, okay? And there's so many hints on that one. That dude has given so many hints. His Parkinson's magically disappears when his Canadian feet go inside of... is he Canadian? I know he's into hockey. Yeah, that's not real Parkinson's. This, too, is just badly faked. It reminds me, there's an entire Seinfeld episode where they talk about actors who pretend to have diseases. So, pretending to have a disease is a thing. All the world's a stage. Freemasons, the way they act. This is similar to how it's just a character. They play characters. Their life is playing a character. And they'll fake deaths, they'll go make new characters, and these people are selected from society. Think of Illuminati. What is Illuminati? It's everyday people out there that think that they're a part of this bigger, greater thing. And so they know about that stuff. My example, I know 100% that somebody I went to high school with faked an allegedly devastating, I almost died situation. And I could tell they were faking it. I could tell that something was wrong. In high school, I watched them with their little walker unit. I could tell that she was faking it. And of course, I didn't believe that at the time, but that's the vibes I got. I was like, why does your recovery seem so awkward and like you're faking it? And I don't believe that I would have had all of those feelings if it wasn't fake. So that's enough. You're surrounded by these people. A lot of people know that this is bullshit, but how they have fun is by going along with it and trying to a lot of times they are the ones that make the statements of, well, you must be totally uneducated and living in your mom's basement if you don't believe this. That's their best arguments. You must live in a basement if you don't believe this. Oh, look, where's your tinfoil hat? If you don't believe this thing that is clearly obviously fake. These people are, what is that called? Flash mobs. These people are the ones that do flash mobs. Okay? Social operation, they like to gaslight. So that's why these terms are so big, and it's because it's a part of the game that those people play. They're actors on a stage. They love gaslighting people through their mob tactics. It's also the secret of of how magic shows, well, specifically, do you know the shows where they pretend to hypnotize a whole audience? Yeah, do you know how those shows work? Because you're surrounded by liars. That's why. That's how the hypnotist shows work. Because you're surrounded by liars who are willing to go along with the lie to get a chuckle out of it. So there's a reason that the magic person when you had your senior day or whatever. This is so common because, hey, every Freemasonry, it runs the same everywhere. If you went to a high school that was Freemasonic, you probably did. You probably did things similar to this. On your senior day or whatever, you go do carnival type activities at a place, and oftentimes a big part of that is a magician thing with the hypnotist show. Yeah, they're picking the cool Freemason kids who know life is all a joke and a big game, and they know to lie and go along with the obvious lies because for them that's fun. I even have one memory of being on a cruise with some bozo. They did this on a cruise, and so here's the way that the club works. These liars are everywhere. So on a cruise, you'll know that there will be plenty of Freemasonic, or at least people who know about the lie stuff, people that do the hand signs. Okay, my mom is not a Freemason, but my mom loves doing the triad claw hand sign and making huge things. That one's just huge. You see all these people that are obsessed with the triad claw hand sign. You can go look that up if you don't know what it is. These people walk amongst you and are ready to lie and side with the lie, which is Satan, at any moment. They might not know the depths of this spiritual battle, but Jesus Christ is the truth. When you love the lie, that is alignment with Satan. And I don't think these people understand that. It's not all fun in games. That's not fun to lie to get a chuckle. Even if you think it's harmless, that's not fun, but it's how these people operate. They have arrested development about, middle school age, so they get chuckles. I didn't finish my statement about the cruise. I could just tell on a cruise, the stupid guy next to me really wanted to get picked to go up, and he was making hand signs. He was doing things with his hands that would make him really obvious to the guy running the hypnotist show. Why would you do that? Why would you make various signs with your hands, like a pick me thing, and expect the person to see that and pick up on that? Yeah, you're surrounded by these bozo club members that's the only reason that you have so many people willing to buy the garbage and push the garbage as being so cool, willing to try to gaslight people into believing things that are obviously fake are real. It's because they know it's fake, but they are liars. And that's the end of my rant about that. Let's watch this fake bullshit out of NASA that is so obviously bad. This is now on my top 5 list of terrible footage out of NASA. This is the cock person pretending that they don't know how to walk anymore. The foot right here kills me. Right here. Oh, wait. Maybe it's on the next one. Right here. Oh! What? Laughing. Okay. It's badly acted. Badly acted. What makes me sad were all the people in the comments that were like, oh, I'm so glad that she is bringing awareness to vestibular, balance issues, which is interesting because I personally believe that vertigo and balance issue things are way on the rise today. I think that a lot of people have problems with vertigo, and I don't know, my guess is that it might have something to do with how they say the poles are changing, Earth's electromagnetic poles. Something is going on that is making people's balance worse today. I do believe that, but I think that this is like a Michael J. Fox situation. It's sad that you get all these people that are like, oh, I'm so glad that you're helping bring light to my cause, but this is just all somebody playing a joke. They don't really have this issue. This person is so clearly faking this that it's not even funny. You got 30% of the population is totally duped. Okay, maybe 45% of the population is totally duped. Maybe you got another 45% of the population that knows that this stuff is bullshit, but they get off and think it's fun to pretend it's real. And then you got 10% that are willing to call a spade and call out the truth and say this is bullshit. Maybe more than 10%. You guys, on this NASA stuff, on this recent NASA stuff, there has been so many people who call out this stuff as bullshit. So I don't know how they plan on moving forward with this. I guess the show must go on, as always. I don't know what they've done with big groups of dissenters in the past when it comes to the narrative they try to push about the world we live in. I've been lamenting recently. I'll play this one more time while I continue to ramble. I've been lamenting recently about how so many Christians buy into this stuff. And you know how historically we know about the stories of, back in the day, Galileo was imprisoned and they wanted to kill him for trying to say that the earth revolved around the sun. People are really ready and willing to say that sort of thing, but they don't point out, well, the reason why they would do that is because Galileo was preaching things that went against the Bible. They don't like to talk about that part. Oh yeah, the reason that the reason that they were so upset about somebody trying to preach ball earth stuff is because that's not what the Bible says. They don't focus on that part. And modern Christians today, they just totally buy into the fake science stuff and think that's right. They try to change the Bible to fit science because they are afraid of saying it's not real. I see this all the time. There are so many Christians out there that their defense mechanism, you either see two defense mechanisms, it seems. Some Christian people buy into science is cool, and they somehow merge the two in their mind. I've always been able to tell that science is directly anti-God. I've always been able to tell that the programming behind the scenes of science and your regular education system is all there to try to disprove God. So you have some people that just unite the two in their mind, and they say, well, with God, anything's possible. And I know that a lot of sciencey people try to go against God, but, Jesus is enough. Though there are tons of people out there that they have enough faith in Jesus that they can unite the two in their mind. I will never be able to unite the two in my mind because I've known from the start that all the ball earth stuff and infinite galaxies and all of that stuff is directly in opposition to God. All of that stuff is to make you disbelieve in the Bible. I've always understood how those are against each other. That school does its best to make you think how dumb. That's like the main goal of school, is to frame it as, how dumb and simple-minded it would be to believe in God. The programming is just very clear if you can take a step back. So that's the one type of Christian. And then you got the other type of Christian. I mean, you got three types of Christians, I guess. One is the one that magically unites the two and goes la 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 la. But Jesus is strong enough. If you have faith in Jesus, you can be saved even if you're duped. Then you have the second type of Christian who, I'm just not into sciencey stuff. I just, I focus on worship and singing and music and arts. And I just don't, science doesn't interest me. I think those people know. They can sense that science is trying to disprove God and that they actively are biased in that direction. They can pick up on that. And so their defense mechanism is ignoring it. Well, I'm just going to ignore all of science and be like, well, I'm not a science girly. Once again, Jesus is enough. If you have strong faith in Jesus, you can go ahead and ignore all of science and you can still be saved. However, then you got people like me. I am a science individual, but I see the deception happening there and how all of that science is... today, science is not the scientific method, first of all. If you understand science enough, you can start to learn how much of alleged science today is pure propaganda and not based off of verifiable things. NASA, which one of us can go verify in a rocket? Which independent party, can I go up in a rocket? NASA, can you send me to the moon? Of course not. So you got the third type of Christian, I guess, that realizes that Christianity and science absolutely cannot be united because science has an agenda, and it's not really science, it's its own religion. Modern day, science is cool. Those people follow a religion. Their religious figures are the experts who write their religious texts, which are pop science articles. You know, it's raining diamonds on gay meat or whatever. Stupid. That is not science. Okay. Well, I ranted so much more than I expected I would, but hey, it feels good to get that out of my system. I hope you enjoyed the video. God bless everyone.